Yeah, it went okay. We probably didn't throw quite as much stuff as I thought we would have, but we did some pretty good things, especially being able to switch there late. We can kind of put a big body in Scotty on Harden and a big body in Precious on Embiid and switch that to try to negate, keep the ball in front a little bit the best you can. That probably was key in the fourth. That we did a pretty good job of getting it out of Harden's hands in the stretches when he's playing without Embiid. Yeah, I mean, I think we got ball bounced our way tonight for sure. I thought they had a couple shots, that probably those guys normally make bounce out tonight, so fortunate bounces. Yeah, I mean, certainly we had to step up and make our free throws, right? We had a couple other. I thought, yeah, we got a bunch of shots right at the rim that we missed too throughout the second half. I thought, which you can't afford to miss that many of those usually in a game without paying for it with an L. But yeah, it was good. I mean, I love it being in these close games. It's so good for these guys like Scotty and Precious and Gary that just have never been in them, and they need as much of them as they can. I realize they could go either way, and it isn't much fun when they don't go your way, but they're really good for us nonetheless.
I mean, is that the biggest thing to take away from Friday and today?
Yep.
Opportunities like this against, even though like
Yeah. Yeah, we played, guys, top players in the league. And again, I thought the Lakers played like absolutely to their potential all over the place, and that's, it's good. I kept saying that in the game against the Lakers the other night. You see some worried looks on their faces in the timeout. I was like, it's all right. It's good for us, man. Went to overtime. It says good for us. Let's just keep playing, man. We're going to learn a lot out of this. Yeah, well, we took the first 12 minutes off and just rested for the last 36. So, yeah, the last three quarters we did. I thought I'd give our second unit a lot of credit because they changed the game. I thought Chris, Thad, those guys came in. Precious stayed in with them, and Armani, those guys, they got about 3 or 4 offensive rebounds in a row that I thought sparked all the energy. That really boosted our team, and we kind of carried it through for the game.
Any questions? Go ahead, Jet.
Thank you. Go ahead, Doug.
Congratulations on the win. How do you think your team's handling the physical nature of these games in the last 10 days? It looks pretty well. It doesn't seem to be a very physical team, but they're not backing down and they're getting as much as they're getting hit. Is that right?
Yes. I was going to say there, yeah, I think our physicality is exceeding the other team most nights. So that's a good sign. That's a good sign. Yep. Yep. And this was the first night in a long time that Scotty didn't absorb those hits and still finish. He probably had 6 or maybe even more. Let's just say 6 right at the rim where he got knocked a little bit, but he's been making all those, and tonight they all rolled out. So he normally is going to play through those and score those. So he did a good job. I thought Pascal at one time grabbed them, and just said to him, this is physical out here, man. They ain't going to call it when we go to the rim, so you got to score it, and they're going to call, we may make some fouls down here, but just keep nothing easy. Keep getting in their way and keep trying to contest and keep taking it to the rim hard. I thought it was a good job by him leadership-wise. Thank you.
Thanks, Doug. Go ahead, Dr. Grinch.
Hey, Nick, those last couple of possessions on the stretch, I think Scotty, in the post, and you left it that way. Chua had Harden kind of on the perimeter, you left it that way. How confident are you?
Well, yeah, well, we're in a situation where we couldn't give up a 3, right? I think we were up 3, maybe 1 or 2 of those times, and then up 2 in the last one. So we were in our no 3 defense, and you got to play one-on-one. You got to stay home and do the best you can. Again, I thought Chris stood in there and took, and we took, I think, maybe 3 charges on Harden tonight. That's huge because he's got all the options, right? He's got the step back, and he's got the rim, and he's got the floater, and we were trying to take away the first 2 the best we could and kind of forced him into that, went to the float game, and we made some plays on it. That's really the defense. You got to stay at the rim, because if you come up, he's going to dump it to somebody behind you for a dunk, and you got to stay there and wait and do the best you can. I thought some key plays by Chris there, taking charges. I think somebody else took one too. I can't remember, but I think we got 3 of them.
Appreciate it.
Yep, thanks, Michael.
Go ahead, Aaron.
Hey, Nick. You didn't start Precious in the second half. Was that to stagger his minutes away from Embiid?
No, it was because I didn't like that lineup. I didn't like it to begin with. I didn't really want to start that way anyway, but I ended up doing it. With Freddie out, we've been kind of mixing it up and doing some things, and since it was such a poor start, I didn't want that to happen again. There's just something not quite right about those 2 guys out there together yet. We've got to get to work and figure that out so they can play. Kem and Precious can play together, but there's something we got to work on with that and polish that up and iron that out a little bit.
What is it that I guess allows Precious to succeed without Kem on the court?
Well, yeah, I think when Precious is playing the 5, he's going to have a center playing him, so he can play underneath some. He can be in the dunker spot some, but he can pick and pop more against a big. He can play in the corners more against a rim protecting big, and that's an advantage. And if he's got a 4 guarding him, usually those guys know how to play that stuff a little differently, and it just looks all different out there. I think you probably, maybe a couple years ago or whatever, when we used to run Chris at the 5, and that was his big advantage when he was kind of a undersized 5-man, and he'd pick and pop those guys and things like that. So again, we just got to do a little more work on figuring out some spacing and where those guys are going to go when they're out there together.
Thanks, Nick.
Yep, you're welcome.
Last question. Go ahead, Adam.
Hey Nick, your team hit 40 wins on the season tonight. Does that number have any special meaning for you, just in the way your team's been able to put together what's looking like it's going to be a winning season?
Yeah, that's a good number. I guess I didn't even really realize it, to be honest with you. But yeah, that's good. I think what do we got? 10, 11 games left. I think we just got to keep picking off a few more. I think that I don't really put a lot into it. I know it's important because we'd really like to make the playoffs. I think our team needs that experience. My bigger concern, I think, all the time is, can we go out there and play, man? Can we go out there and look these really good teams eye to eye and go compete and believe we can win and execute to win? And if we believe we can and we compete as hard as we've been competing, and we're going to get our share, we're going to deserve to get our share of wins, and that's more, it kind of takes care of itself.